Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you live to episode number 2 of Behind the Terriers, powered and presented to you by the Terriers Sports Network. I'm joined by men's soccer head coach Tom Giovatto. For those that do not know me, I am Joey Jarzinka, the host of this show. We cannot thank you all for tuning in here on this Friday afternoon. Really good stuff upcoming. Coach, how are you? Tom Giovatto, everybody. How is the quarantine treating you? And are you staying safe and healthy?
I'm doing well, thanks, Joey. Yeah, staying safe and healthy, not leaving the house too much, just giving me some more time to recruit. So it's been great.
I love to hear that. That's really good stuff. And we're going to get into the whole recruiting part and portion of the of this show. But for those that do not know, and for those who are just tuning in for the first time, Behind the Terriers is highlighting members of the St. Francis community. And by members, we say the athletes, the student athletes, along as well as the head coaches. As you can see, the aforementioned Tom Giovatto is here with me this afternoon. So let's get into it, Coach. Now, you just said you're staying strong with the quarantine and everything. I want to know a little bit more about who Tom Giovatto is. And we're not going to start off with our mutual connection. We'll get that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you were an Iona graduate, 1997. I don't want to show your age or anything, but 1997.
Making me feel old, Joey.
It's a little while ago. But you were a member of the Iona Gales. You got your bachelor's degree in mass communications, and you were also a part of the men's soccer team for 3 years. Talk a little bit about your experience up in New Rochelle.
Yeah, I had a great time at Iona. I played for 3 great coaches, Lou Gallo, Bobby Herodes, and Mike Jacobs. Bobby and Mike I still keep in touch with. They're still coaching as well. Mike Jacobs is he's with the new MLS franchise in Tennessee, which is amazing. And Bobby has retired from Marist, but still involved in high school coaching, and he's doing well. Unfortunately, I don't really know too much of what Lou's doing, but he was a great guy, and all 3 were great influences on me, coaching and in soccer.
Yeah, and not only that too, Coach, but your awards speak for themselves. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I do want to say a few highlights of that. You were North Atlantic Region Coach of the Year, 2013 National Soccer Coaches Association of America. You brought the Terriers back to the promised land with 4 NEC tournament championships in 7 seasons. Your coaching staff in 2017 was the coaching staff of the year. So a lot of really good things. And clearly you have those guys to thank for. You obviously came from a very a powerful coaching regime, and you learned from the best, as you said.
Absolutely. Those awards are all great. I don't know how much of it is all me. It's definitely a big part is my assistant coaches who've done incredible jobs. And, it's the players themselves. They go out there, they perform, and, they make me look good.
Now, during your time with the PDL, now obviously USL League 2, you played at Metropolitan Oval. For those that do not know, that's right off of Metropolitan Avenue in Maspeth. And what was your favorite memory playing for the Brooklyn Knights and the now dissolved or merged PDL?
Yeah, so you're really aging me now. So I'm gonna go So I actually started off playing for a club called the GH Metros, who are now called the Met Oval. They're called the Met Oval Academy. So as a kid, I played there my whole life. And it's not the field that you see now. Now it's beautiful turf. It has all the incredible locker rooms and all that stuff. Back then, it wasn't like that. It was dirt, rocks, but, it was great. The greatest players in the world played there. Pele played on that field. So,
Yep.
It was just incredibly to be part of that. great story for practice. We used to practice at night, and the start of practice was the coach would give you a bag, plastic bag, and you'd have to walk around and collect rocks. And we didn't start practice till everybody filled up their bags with rocks. So we used to take the rocks off the field ourselves. So that was pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah. So that's how far back I go with Med Oval. And then,
They really put you to work, huh, Coach?
oh yeah. It was great. It was incredible. You took ownership of your own field. So yeah, it's a great story. Kids don't believe it, but that's what it was. That's what it was.
So now with the Brooklyn Knights, for those that do not know, a part of that organization was now alum and Nassau Community College head coach Chris Megaludis. Additionally, while I guess now because they're no longer a team because they were dissolved in 2013, Andreas Lindberg was the head coach, and he was at the helm of Division II, or now dissolved LIU Post Pioneers, and now he's in the Big East at Seton Hall. So there are a ton of alum that are known, and you are a part of that list, Coach. What is, and I'm going to throw you a little curveball here. We'll give a little baseball lingo. To be a part of a list like that, what does that mean to you?
It's incredible. I mean, not only are they great coaches, Andres is a great coach, Chris is an incredible player. You know, I coached Chris in college at St. Peter's. So we go way
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We go way back, and Chris is one of my favorite players. I mean, he's just a great guy. Actually, he was at the New York City Gala, soccer gala that we just had, a fundraising event. He was there, so it was great to see him, speak with him, and have some of the old guys like my old players like Andy, my assistant Jay, who was there to actually meet Chris, talk about the old times. So that connection's great. And Andreas and I coached the academy team, the Med Oval Academy team together. So that friendship is, ongoing for years and years, and we still speak today, and, we're very close, and, we're rooting for each other's programs.
You build a bond, as the time has gone on, and clearly we're only at just a few years following your college graduation, and you've made so many connections between, as we said, one of your old players in the aforementioned Chris Megaludis. And additionally, again, when we spoke about the Metro Stars inviting you, or the now Red Bulls inviting you to their preseason, doesn't matter if you made the cut or not, Coach. It's simple. You're making these connections, and you're building a bond, and you're building these relationships now, throughout your coaching career. Really, really amazing stuff. And then to continue and this is just a few years out of college, Coach. NPSL, it's still going strong today. Lots of many good teams within that league, but also the Baltimore Blast in 2000, just 3 years following your graduation, invited you to play at the NPSL level. Speak about your time in the Mid-Atlantic region.
Yeah, so that was an indoor league, which was great. At that time, they had all kinds of leagues going on in New York, New Jersey. They were so-called money leagues. So there were big prize money for these leagues. And, I was playing with a bunch of teams doing that. And a lot of the players I played with were playing professionally, either the A-League, MLS guys. So the competition was extremely high. And I got invited again to play with Baltimore. I was training with them. Got hurt in a game. Actually, it was the first game. It was a preseason game that we played in. Wound up breaking my ribs, and that kind of ended my time with Baltimore. But again, met a lot of great people there, a lot of connections. Still getting players from these contacts. So, it was a great experience. I wish I didn't get injured and would have been able to play a little bit longer. But again, it was a great time. And this is when Baltimore was just the Inner Harbor was just coming around. So those were fun days over there, visiting the Inner Harbor and being a part of that team.
Yeah, Baltimore is an absolutely amazing city. And to be a part of that, again, really, really cool stuff. But you know what? As they say, Coach, everything is, there's a reason behind everything. Everything happens for a reason. You have to be in the right place at the right time for everything. And, if who knows, if you, as you said, if you didn't break your ribs, if you did not get injured, a whole different Tom Giovatto.
Absolutely.
We may not know you.
Absolutely.
And the story of you has, and continues to be written. And it began with your coaching career at St. Peter's. I believe 2001, if I'm not mistaken, right? In
I
that range.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
So, yeah. So
A long time
2001.
ago.
Yeah. So you had, and the reason why I say this, obviously, just to make sure that our viewers know chronological order, we want to know who you are and be organized and neat here. You spent a couple of seasons there, and to those that do not know, 2003 was the best year at St. Peter's for you and for your squad. You guys had 18 wins, and about a few years later, down the road, they honored your whole team and you guys were inducted into the school's Hall of Fame. Talk
Yeah.
about your time in Jersey City, Coach.
So yeah, it was amazing. So first of all, how I started was I was speaking with St. Peter's and Iona about possibly being assistant coach, and my my head coach on my own, my old head coach, Mike Jacobs, who we spoke about earlier, told me, "Hey, go work for Caesar, who was the head coach at St. Peter's." And Caesar was a young, upcoming head coach who won all kinds of championships at the D3 level, and he was building this program at St. Peter's. And I sat down, I spoke with Caesar, and I mean, we hit it off. We hit it off from day one. He's, in my opinion, the best college soccer coach out there. I mean, the guy is just, he knows everything about soccer. He's just got an incredible soccer mind. And, we sat down, we had a great conversation, and he said, "Hey, come join my staff." And I said, "You got it." And that's how it began. And that year, 2003, was, I mean, the team was incredible. We had a couple of guys that played professionally. One was Chris Megaludis, who played with the Red Bulls, and we were just solid from the goalkeeper position to the forward. Defenders were incredible, midfielders, forwards, and it was just a great bond. The guys were so close. It was a family, and it's funny. I still get texts from all the guys, a bunch of the guys. "Coach, happy New Year, Merry Christmas." We still stay in touch. And a bunch of those guys are now club coaches. And I get calls all the time. "Hey, coach, come look at this kid. Come look at that kid." And I do. I mean, they were incredible players, and they have a great eye. And, anytime someone calls me, I'm running to watch their players.
Really, really good stuff again, because, again, we can't stress this enough. The bond that you build, the relationships that you build could really go a long way. And you said it could be, even just to take a peek at a player, whatever it is that could be beneficial to your program. And then just again, a few years after that, then you came out here to Long Island. And for those that don't know, that's where I am right now. But Stony Brook, the Seawolves was your next stop. You were an assistant coach and you were overseeing certain parts of the program. Now speak about your time in the American East.
Yeah, so after we won that championship, Caesar got the job at Stony Brook, and there's an opportunity for me to stay at St. Peter's and possibly take over the head coaching job. But at that point, I thought it was just better to stay with him, get more experience. It was sad to leave a bunch of those guys at St. Peter's, but then it was the next step going forward. And Stony Brook was an incredible place. We went from a huge upgrade in facilities, a bigger conference. And yeah, definitely a lot more responsibility, but it was, everything that I wanted. It was great working for Caesar. He taught me from day one how to be a head coach and to go on to the next step. So yeah, now at Stony Brook, now you're meeting a whole new set of coaches and people from Long Island. So now network even, to a bigger area. And that was a great experience as well, being at Stony Brook.
Yeah, and you said it, widening the network, because now, by the time you're done at Stony Brook, you have connections all over Long Island, all over New Jersey, down in Baltimore. And really, again, you're making a humongous base to build upon. And in order to get to where you are now, you have to go through blood, sweat, and tears. And you have to make sure that, it's, nothing's handed to you for free. You got to make sure you got to keep working at it. And eventually you'll get to where you want to go, which coincidentally is here at St. Francis, because, well, you're wearing the pullover here. And now after, or the zip up rather, but you're now at St. Francis come 2006, and you were an assistant coach and then eventually promoted to head coach in 2007. And the rest is history. Coach, tell us about your time here in Brooklyn Heights, or there, if you will, in Brooklyn Heights, and what it's all meant to you.
Yeah, no, it was great. So from Stony Brook, I transitioned on to St. Francis, the reason why I kind of left Stony Brook was the Met Oval. I actually became the director of the club, and when I was directing the club, Carlo Acquisa was the head coach. Gave me a call and basically said, "Come on, Tommy, I need you here. Come help out." And I was kind of hesitant because I wanted to make sure that I was doing the job correctly, and I didn't know how much time being the director at the Met Oval was going to take. And he was relentless. He kept calling me, texting me, and I made the switch over. So I was still working at Met Oval, but I made the switch over to St. Francis, and I'm so glad that I did. I mean, I'm so happy that he kept calling me, and I wound up being his assistant, and that was great being his assistant. And now more networking. I'm getting close with all his contacts as well. That was the start of working at St. Francis. And I was very fortunate that he got the head job at Adelphi, and he said, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay at St. Francis? Do you want to come with me to Adelphi? And luckily that Irma and Anthony Curtin at the time, assistant AD, they saw what I did the whole first year as an assistant, and they took a chance on me.
When you had said before that you were his assistant coach, you were saying that he kept calling you. How many phone calls was it until you answered the phone?
No, I picked up, and I was telling him, I don't know, Carlo, because I just wanted to make sure that if I was in, I was all in.
Yeah.
And that's something that I take very serious. If I'm gonna be a part of a program, I want to be completely all in. And I just didn't know, with this new job as being the director, if I was going to be able to do that. And I quickly found out that I'd be able to do it. I'd be able to put everything into it. Not only Met Oval was great because they thought it was great having a college coach part of the club. So they said, "Hey, whatever you need to do it." And Carlo was great, and that was it. It's history, as they say.
Yeah, you got to the promised land. You saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and you hoisted a Northeast Conference trophy. 2013, your first Northeast Conference championship since 1998, in a 3-2 come-from-behind victory against Bryant. And your current assistant coach, Andy Cormack, scored the golden goal in 2013 and 2014 in overtime. Speak about assistant coach Andy Cormack and what he meant to your program as a player at the time, and now what he means as your right-hand man.
Yeah, Andy means so much. He's family. So we'll go back from 2013, and that's when I would even say that the spring before that is when things really started to change. And, I was pushing what I wanted for the program, and him as a captain, he really stepped back and kind of grabbed the guys and said, "Hey, listen, this is what St. Francis soccer is going to be about." And he was the big voice in the locker room making the change. And those members of the team, they really bought in. I mean, and the best part of that 2013 team was that so many of those kids I knew from high school and had a relationship with them coming over here. So that was incredibly special. And so Andy scores the goal in 2013 to get us in. So a little background on that goal, which will make you laugh.
Let's hear it.
He's driving me crazy from the year before. What a great free kick taker he is. Yeah, okay, Andy, okay. And he gets an opportunity during the year at a tournament. We play Navy. And, I mean, he scores a screamer on a free kick. Comes over, looks at me. I told you. All right, you're right. You did tell me. And, he continued to work on it during training. After practice, you'd always see him taking the ball, taking a couple free kicks. And in that finals, Kevin Correa, who was All-American, scored I think we won the semifinal 2-0. He scored both goals. I think he had both goals in the finals, and now we get a free kick. So everyone in the whole world is thinking Kevin's taking the kick.
And no. Yeah, they thought wrong.
That's right. And as they're going, they're setting up the ball. Andy's running from the back. And I looked at him and I said, "You better take it." And it was funny because it was the same exact spot where he scored the goal, just about the same exact spot where he scored against Navy.
Wow.
Yeah, so, Kevin and Andy on the ball, and everybody's just waiting for Kevin to take it. And Andy hits a rip. And that was it. And we're in the finals, and we're in the NCAA tournament.
That's
unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. And now that is, again, he was the team captain, which we didn't say before. He was the team captain. He helped the Terriers and you, Coach, back to the NCAA tournament in almost a little over 10 years. And that moment, what was your thought the moment that ball crossed the goal line?
Oh, man, it was just amazing. I can't even put it into words, but I mean, me and Andy still watch it a lot in the office. Anytime we're having a bad day, is Andy, put it on. And he laughs at me and we watch it. But yeah, I mean, what a shot. Caught everybody kind of off guard. And, the best is watching it again and just seeing the reactions from all the guys. And every time you see a different reaction from it. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. And then 2014.
Yeah.
Andy gets injured early in the year. And he misses about 8 games. He had a concussion. He misses about 8 games.
Wow.
And we were struggling. We were struggling the beginning of the year. And he goes out, and we start to go on a roll.
Without him?
Without him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So very tough. And, me and my other assistant, Sanan, at this time, look at each other like, well, what are we going to do when he gets back? We're on a roll now. Are we going to mess up the chemistry? And Andy, in true captain fashion, comes to me and he says, "Play me anywhere. I don't care. I'll do whatever for the team. Don't think you have to move something." And it made it a little bit easier. So we actually put him in the center midfield. And you know what? It just worked out great. He was like another center back just playing in front of the 2 center backs. And we went on an even bigger roll. And we were tough to score on. I mean, I don't know how many goals we gave up, but it was definitely very low. And changed it. We looked like we were just a very tough defensive team. We were very hard to break down. And it was great to have him as basically another coach in the middle of the field directing everybody. I think it made us stronger. And then again in overtime, we get a free kick. And I'll never forget, I looked at my assistant, Sanan, and I said, are you serious? Is this going to happen again? And he takes the free kick and scores and puts us into the tournament again.
Deja vu, coach. Deja vu.
Unbelievable.
That's absolutely surreal where you have an opportunity like that, because now you think about it, and you said it before, and that's why he wore the captaincy band.
Absolutely.
And he worked for you, and he really he made sure that he represented the Terriers the way they're supposed to be, the way the culture that you've built, the family culture that you've built over the last 13 years at the helm. But now he's also your assistant coach, which again is fantastic. So you have a player, and not only a player, but you have someone who's been in a scenario that could eventually lead your guys either now or in the future to the promised land, because he was there. You have guys that could say, well, this is how you do it, but then you have Andy right next to you say, no, hold on, I was there, I did it, I can tell you really how to think mentally.
Absolutely, you hit it on the head, man. He knows what I wanted as him as a player, what we want as a coaching staff. And I mean, if he tells you something, how could you not listen to the guy? The guy is, two-time champion, two-time game winner. I mean, he has all the accolades, and I can't say enough about him. He's the biggest reason why the program is where it is today.
If there is a 2020 season, what's the outlook? And give us a little bit of a preview of the 2020 men's soccer program led by head coach Tom Giovatto.
Yeah, I mean, we're extremely excited. We're going to be very disciplined. We're going to be very hard to score on. We're going to defend as a unit. And going forward, we're going to be exciting to watch. We're going to be quick, exciting. And like you said, guys like Mehdi and Nico, who are very good players. We have some incredible young players coming in that are very flashy. And, it's going to be exciting to watch. And, the great thing is we're in contact with all the new guys, and they can't wait to go. They're so excited to be Terriers, which is great. And that's the biggest thing. We want all the guys on the team to take pride and be excited that they're part of the St. Francis Terrier family. And I think that goes a long way. And I feel like a lot of our teams that were very successful, they were really excited about being St. Francis students.
But now for you personally, back to you personally again, during this quarantine, you obviously have a wife and children. You have been staying healthy and safe, as we already confirmed earlier in the show, or just in the open actually. But now with you being home, and when you're not recruiting, you're not with the guys, you're not doing anything soccer related. Has there been any Netflix movies, series, any movies that you wanted to catch up on, or any activities, hobbies, home projects that you've done in the past? Oh my gosh, let's say couple months we've been out of action. I've lost count.
Yeah. So like you said, I have 2 young kids. So what I'm doing is a lot of schoolwork.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, a lot of schoolwork with the kids, and I'm watching a lot of Paw Patrol.
Okay.
My daughter's into a new show called Victorious.
Okay.
That's her show. And a very funny fact about that show: there's an actor in the show, and he looks like one of our former players, Cyril, or former coach. So every day, me and my wife, we laugh and say, "Hey, there's Cyril."
Wow, really? That's crazy.
I'm not watching anything else. Any other things I watch is maybe sports, and I get to watch some old games. but that gets interrupted pretty quickly by the two kids.
All right. Well, I do see you are in one of the rooms right there. I love the background, Coach. Absolutely
The
fantastic.
quietest room in the house.
We have the little picture of the dancer right to your right, which is great. We got the box of tissues there. We got the bureau there. I love that, Coach.
That's my daughter's room, Ella's room.
I love it. Now, one final question, and that is the person that you look up to most in soccer, most inspirational person that you could think of with soccer for you.
Wow. That's a tough one.
And a powerful one, too.
Yeah. Wow. Whew. There's a lot of people, and I would hate to leave anyone out. I mean, my coaches, obviously, my father started me off in soccer, and he was my coach as a kid. I think he really did it just to keep me out of trouble. Like you said, I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s, and New York was not a very safe place. So I think that was a big part of getting me into sports. And I mean, just all the coaches that I ever played for, they're just huge influences on me as a person and, my coaching career. And that goes not only soccer, but baseball, basketball, every sport that I played, they had a great influence on me.
A broad horizon on.
I'm not giving you one person. That's not happening.
All right. So, that's good. So for all of those that are watching this, every single one of you are an inspiration to head coach Tom Giovatto. Really, really good stuff. And not only that, too, that is a very selfless answer, coach. I really like that personally. That's great. So that's going to do it for us here on Behind the Terriers, presented to you and powered by the Terrier Sports Network. Men's soccer head coach Tom Giovatto. Coach, thank you so much for joining me here on this gloomy afternoon, and you continue to stay safe, stay healthy, and fingers crossed we prepare for a fantastic 2020 season upcoming in the NEC and for your St. Francis Brooklyn Terriers.
Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it. Stay safe. Everybody stay safe.
Thank you so much, Coach. And for all of those that do not know, follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at SFBK Terriers on Twitter and Facebook, or actually at SFC Terriers on Facebook, but on Twitter at SFBK Terriers, and also on Instagram at SFBK Terriers as well. So for all of us at St. Francis College Brooklyn, the Terriers Sports Network, and the Athletic Department, I'm Joey Jarzinka. We'll see you next time.